Hello, happy Monday. How are you? How are you today? Happy Veterans Day to those who have served or who have had family members serve. Thank you. Thank you for your service. We want to honor you today. I know we had a post in the group celebrating that a bit today. So be sure to comment on that and let us know. Let us know if you or your family members are ones that we would like to honor and remember today on this November 11th, 2024. So we are officially on day 8 of our 10-day Rev Up. We are over a week into the 10-day Rev Up, nearing the end. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for plugging in. And it's exciting. It's exciting. We're getting close to the end. Sorry, I just came back from a walk outside, so a tad bit messy. As I get started, well, let me introduce myself and then I'll tell you what to do before I continue. So I am Wendy Clayton, Coach Wendy, as most of you know me as here in this group. And I am a certified health, personal development, financial coach, and the creator of the Life Set Free Total Transformation Journey program. And I'm so excited to be here sharing with you today, whether this is your first time, second time, 10th time, 20th time being here with us. Thank you. Thank you for plugging in and joining us, continuing with us on this journey, and being willing to come in and learn. No matter how many times you've heard this information, it's always a great reminder. So be sure to say hi, drop a purple heart, let me know that you're here. I will get back to comments at the end. So as we get started, just going to give you a heads up now so you're ready when I get to this part. First of all, I encourage you to have something nice to drink. I did already do my workout, but this is kind of like my after workout drink. Felt like I needed some more Ningxia Red. I have some Ningxia Red and some Amino Wise in here, and some electrolytes to help me recover after I already had my protein drink. But it's just some extra. Hydrate and recover after getting my movement in. So what have you been learning so far here on the 10-day Rev Up with us? Are you caught up? Are you caught up on all the videos that we've shared? Some are live, some are recordings from YouTube. I know I saw somebody comment earlier today about I almost didn't watch it again because they've been in here for several months, but they did. And guess what? It's helpful for us to rewatch things, to revisit the information being shared, because we're at a different place the next time we hear it, and it might trigger something different in us as we plug in, as we listen. So thank you for plugging in. Thank you for sharing each and every day, taking the time to encourage each other, to comment and give encouragement on our daily check-in post. Make sure you're sharing your food and you're doing your nightly check-ins. Be sure you're watching for the prize post because there's different things going up. Be sure there was a few days ago now, there was a midway share your result post. So if you didn't comment on that one yet, go back and comment on it. We like to see how you're progressing so far through the 10 days. And we love that we have some of our rock stars who've been plugged in for a long time. You're here encouraging. You're here plugging in yourself again, staying focused. We love it. So today, the tip I'm going to share with you today, our topic of today is casting a vision. What is vision? How do we develop our vision? And I'm going to share kind of 2 different ways that I do this and walk you through a little path to doing this. So have something to hydrate you. And grab an oil or two. Grab an oil or two. Whatever oil is calling to you in the moment, go ahead, grab that, go get it now, have it ready, because we're going to use that in a little bit as we come into one of the parts I'm going to walk you through. So, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, vision is defined as the act of power of imagination. When you apply vision to the future, you can create a mental picture that can be used to direct your actions. Vision serves as a guide and can be used to provide a sense of purpose. A vision is a way to answer your own why of life. It gives you the reason for your actions, your choices, your hopes, and your desires. This fills your daily activities with meaning and purpose as you move forward. I don't know if you took the time at the beginning of our 10-day Rev Up to use those journal pages and kind of start thinking about, like, writing down your why. Like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? And what do I want to get out of these 10 days? So in every area of our life, having a vision proves to be extremely important. Given the trials and tribulations that come your way, like, things happen, right? Things come up as we go through the days. Despite our best intentions, despite our best focus, things can happen. But when we have a clear vision of where we're going and where we want to be, what we want to accomplish, in the moments of those trials, we can make better decisions. We can make better decisions that are going to help us move towards that vision, like all the steps we need to get to that vision. A vision is a huge part of your success in every area. Whether you want to make a 6-figure income, whether you want to pay off all of your debt, whether you want to become financially independent, where you have the freedom to work or to not work, whether you want to live in a bigger home, whether you want to get married, to have a good marriage, to be in a size 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, to be healthy, to have a healthy BMI, to lose that first 10 pounds, to lose that last 10 pounds, to maintain your weight, to lose 100 pounds or lose 30. It doesn't matter where you're at, but vision is what's going to help you accomplish and get to each of those things that you're thinking about, going, I'd really like to do this. Like, what do I do? How do I do this? We might start working on the steps, right? Like, we might have this idea in our mind, and we might have maybe we've started laying out some goals and some steps to get there. But if we don't have a vision of what that's going to look like when we get there, it's really hard to stay focused. So it doesn't matter what your vision is, but the vision, having a vision for who you want to be, where you are going, what you want to accomplish, the vision is what is behind succeeding at every single one of them. So you can have a hope, you can have a goal, you can have a dream, you can have that list of things that you want to accomplish in your life. And I believe all of us do have vision, do have goals, do have dreams planted inside of us for what we want to do in our life. I personally believe those all come from the Creator himself, Father God, who created us. But however, along the road of getting to our desires, accomplishing our goals, accomplishing our dreams, we can often run smack dab into that wall called life. And like, we'll be going along, and like, cool, something pops up in our way, and it stops us in our tracks. Have you ever been slapped around? Have you ever been slapped around by that brick wall of life? By those things that come up that we don't expect? By the things that maybe we kind of knew about, but we didn't plan ahead for? And then we find ourselves in the midst of the situation going, like, what do I do now? What do I do now? And even if it knocks you down, do you get back up and keep kicking? That's the question. Like, what do you do? So most of the time, those of you that are in here, you're here, and those especially that have continued to plug in, it's like, it doesn't matter what wall you're hitting, you get back up and keep going. You get back up and keep going. And that is what we want to do. My camera keeps like moving. Sorry about that. But life can be unforgiving at times. So what I have noticed when we're on this health journey, that the whole world does not get a memo because you decided to lose weight, because you decided to get healthy, because you decided you wanted to go on a health journey, because you decided you wanted to be in here in this 10-day Rev Up, trying out some new habits, revisiting those habits, putting them in place, making wise choices on your food and on your movement. Those around you, they don't just automatically get a memo about what's going on. And in those moments when we're dealing with people, things around us, just wanting to get healthy is not going to be enough. And that's what I want you to understand, why we're going to talk about this today. Just you wanting to lose the weight is not going to be enough. You wanting to change your habits and become the best version of yourself, to get to a point where you actually look in the mirror. I don't know why this is like not staying. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I think I moved it around too much earlier. You wanting to lose weight is not going to be enough to get you through those tough times. us just wanting to do something is not going to be enough. We have to get to the point where we're actually looking in the mirror and loving the reflection staring back at us. And otherwise, just wanting it that's not going to get us to where we want to be. So at some point we get to develop a vision of where we are going. Our vision is kind of like that roadmap to help us to see, like, where are we going? Where do we want to be? So if I want to drive somewhere, I do have to have a destination in mind, right? Like, I have to have somewhere I'm trying to go. So say I'm trying to drive from Texas to Minnesota to visit some friends. I'm going to need my GPS because I don't know how to get there. I don't know where to go. So I can get my GPS out and I can plug in the address of where I want to go, where I'm starting and where I want to go. And it will tell me what roads to take, where to turn, what traffic to avoid, to how to avoid road closures. If there's any detours coming up, anything that I need to know about on my trip, it's going to guide me. So even if I run into like standstill traffic, it's going to help me figure out the best way to still reach my destination of moving from, traveling from Texas to Minnesota. Our vision is the same way. Your vision is going to navigate you. It's going to guide you. It's going to help get you to where you want to go. But what most people do is they might come up with a dream. They might come up with a hope. They might have this hope starting to bubble up in them, this idea in their mind. And they might even come up with a goal and maybe a destination of where they want to go. And they start working on it until they hit that brick wall. And then they get down, they get knocked on their behind, and then maybe they get back up and start limping along. Or some just stop. Like when they hit that wall, they just stop and they give up because they say it's too hard. I can't do this. I have too much going on. I'm too busy. It's too hard. I'm going to find another way. I'm going to find another way. That way wasn't for me. We come up with all of these reasons to stop because we fell and it hurt, right? And all of a sudden we stop going as hard. We might stop pushing as hard because it hurt when we ran up into that obstacle. We stop pushing to our goals. We have these goals. We have these places we want to go, but we stop pushing. And sometimes we convince ourselves that we don't even want what we said we wanted. When we hit those hard points, we can our mind can start going, that was really uncomfortable. You don't really have to do that. Maybe that was too big of a goal. Maybe, we just need to stay here and be happy with where we're at. Our mind can pull us back into that comfort zone and keep us in that comfort zone. So, and then some of us might sit around in that state for a while going, okay, I don't really feel like pushing. I'm just going to be comfortable here until that desire starts bubbling up inside of us again. And then we go at it again and we start pushing forward, but then we might find ourselves repeating that cycle again. So what I'm going to tell you is that if you want to break that cycle of stopping and starting, if you want to break that cycle of not finishing, if you want to break the cycle of being overcome by life's obstacles, then you get to cast a vision. You get to cast a big, detailed vision. And it starts off, often when we're talking here in this health area, it might start off with a weight loss goal. It starts off being inspired by someone else. It starts off hopping into a group like this 10-day Rev Up and going, okay, I can do 10 days. I'm going to try this. So I know I want to get healthy. And maybe that's all we're thinking. I want to get healthy. I, need to lose some inflammation. I want to lose a few pounds. Okay, I think I can get in and do 10 days. And you know what? So that's where we start. Something to realize is our vision grows. And it grows when we cultivate it. So it's not just I have a picture and then I'm just going to leave it there. That's not how this works. Whatever we water will grow. So we get to feed our vision. And if we stop, anything we starve dies. So if we're not continuing to feed our vision, feed those pictures, the realness of the dreams that we have, they'll just kind of go to the wayside. So when I started my most recent journey, when I recommitted to this goal, coming from a place of weight loss failure, it was no, I'm going to commit. I'm going to go all in. And I didn't know what that looked like at the time. I didn't really know how hard it was going to be. I didn't know what I was going to run up against. Didn't know what to expect exactly. I just knew I had to change. I knew it was time. I knew I got to make the choices, no matter how hard it was, to start making improvements in my health. It was something that needed to change, and that was my time, my plan. So I had this vision, one of my visions at the beginning, where they were kind of simple at the beginning. So I wanted to wear a bikini and be comfortable on the beach without having to cover up all the time. I would go to the beach and always be covered with multiple layers, never be comfortable. I haven't been comfortable just like swimming in a swimsuit in a really long time. And that's where it started, having this picture of, and honestly, whether I ever do it or not, it has been a desire. It has been a goal for what I want to work towards in my body. No matter how long it takes, right? Like no matter how long it takes, but it started there. And I started thinking like, okay, if failure wasn't an option, I love that question. If failure wasn't an option, what would I do? Where would I go? What size would my butt be? Where would I shop? What would I wear on my vacation with my husband? What type of bathing suit? What type of dresses? What type of outfits? If failure wasn't an option and I wasn't afraid of what other people thought, if I wasn't afraid of having to like wear all this stuff under my clothes to make me look the way I wanted to, what would that look like? What would it look like if failure wasn't an option? So I started making some private Pinterest boards, saving photo albums in my phone of like Wendy's fit clothes, starting to save pictures of even of things like I wanted, like where I wanted to go and what I want would, kind of images of what the relationships I'd like to build would look like with my husband and those types of things. So I used to be a normal healthy size as a teen and young adult. So I personally have a reference point of where I'd like to get back to, but it has been challenging work because changing my thinking after over 20 years of being overweight and dealing with the fears of like, well, how will my mom body look if I do lose all the weight? I knew I wanted to work towards being a smaller size, but also being healthy and fit in the process, not doing something that was going to wreck my actual health for the long term just to get to a goal fast. That's why we teach you here a balanced way to work towards your goals while maintaining your health and in a way that's sustainable for the long term. So I started saving pictures, ideas of where I wanted to go, what I wanted to look like where would I want to shop, starting to think about a budget. And then this was something that one of my coaches had recommended we do. And this is kind of where I started with like doing my health vision. And I'm going to tell you another way of doing this that has helped me even more as I've made progress on this journey. But here is the simple way. So sometimes when we're in this place of being overweight and we aren't sure like what our goal weight should be. We're not sure what's realistic for like how should we look. So one of the ways you can do this is Google a celebrity. And the reason we use celebrities is because their stats, like their height, their weight, all of those things are posted online. I don't know about you. I don't have all mine posted publicly for everybody in the entire world to see, but celebrities do. So you can start by Googling like, okay, celebrity or actress that's your height, okay, or your height and your age, and see who it brings up, and then look at pictures of them to get an idea of like, okay, look for somebody who has a similar body shape as far as your core body shape of where you would want to be. And then you can also then put their name in and do stats. And that gives you an idea of like, okay, what age are they actually? What is their actual weight that they're at when they're looking like this? And all of those things. So this helped me just to start developing a picture of what I could possibly work towards. Like what is realistic for somebody who's my age and my height to work towards at this point in life. Because sometimes we've been fed the lie that the older you get, you can't be that. You can't do that. Your body won't do that anymore. But it's not true. It's not true. Does it require work? Yes. Does it require changing decades worth of habits to get to where we want to go? Yes, but it can be done. And the more we develop our vision, the better focused we can be to move forward as we do this. So I started digging deeper. I started allowing myself to dream, to develop a vision of like, you know what? What if I didn't gain weight just because of old age? What if that was just a myth? What if I didn't gain weight because I was really just big boned? All these lies that come into our minds, and maybe we've been told them by people for many years. Most of the time, they are not true. They are not true. They're excuses people have used. There may be excuses we have used over the years. What if those things are just a lie? What if it wasn't just family genetics? What if I wasn't destined to be where I am? What if I could actually take control back and write the next chapter of my life? What if I could accomplish the health in the body that I couldn't even imagine or dream of? Like, I can only dream or imagine this much. Like, what if it's even beyond what I can imagine? What if? Opening the door to what if. I'd rather take the chance on the what if towards the positive. So many times we listen to the what if of the negative, on the negative side. Like, what if I try it and fail? What if I start this and it doesn't go my way? What if I'm big boned and I can never be one of those tiny people? What if I lose all my weight and I have all this extra skin? What if I'm just prone to be like this forever? We listen to all these negative things, but we don't listen to the positive what ifs. Those things that can actually move us forward. So think about that. Those negative what ifs, are those helping you to move towards your goal or away from your goal? Are they holding you back? And are they a truth or are they a lie? Okay. Most of the time they're not the truth. They're not the truth of who you are. They're not the truth of where you can go. They are fears, and our mind tries to protect us. Our brain tries to protect us. So it'll bring up all these things to keep us from getting out of our comfort zone. And it wants to keep us safe. And sometimes it feels unsafe when we start dreaming and wanting to take steps outside of what we're currently in, because we often can't see right away the possibilities. You have to allow ourselves room to start to explore the possibilities and then allow God to work in our lives. So that's where I started. I have since learned some additional important ways about digging into your vision. And so to help really connect you to that'll help you make it through the hardest days to stay focused, to really work towards all the goals in the various areas of my life. So we're going to take a couple minutes. I'm going to walk you through this procedure, and then you can make sure you set aside time. If you have a few minutes, do it right now with me. Grab an oil or two, whatever you have. It doesn't matter. Just grab something. Any of it will help. If you have emotional oils, those are great. If you have frankincense, lavender, stress away, peppermint, peace and calming, anything. This has been one of the oils that's been calling to me lately, which is Gary's Light. It's an amazing blend of oils. And it has a lot of the biblical oils in it, as well as some other things. And so get some oils out and we're going to walk through this. So I'm going to grab an oil or two. And like I said, you can walk through this with me now, but I encourage you also to set aside time where you can be in a quiet space, not have people come and interrupt you, so you can actually allow yourself time to go through this exercise well. So take your oils. I'm going to put some in my hand. I'm going to do this. I'm going to breathe. In our mindfulness challenge, we're doing sharing a 4-4-6 breathing. So you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds or for a count of 4, and then exhale for a count of 6. Help get the oxygen, help get the oils in our mind. And then I'm going to put the rest of this on my wrists, on the back of my neck, on my head, on my chest. This actually does have, I think it's cassia in it. It's a little spicy. It smells so good. It's an interesting blend. I love how my ability to enjoy different blends has changed over the years. Okay, so what you're going to do now, after you've put some oils on, inhaled some oils, I'm going to walk you through what to do. So if you're ready, do it now. If not, then come back to this and allow yourself time to do this. Okay, that's really warm today. I'm feeling it. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes. And of course, I'm going to kind of walk through this. So I might have my eyes open. But okay, close your eyes and allow yourself to dream. So you might be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so I want you to think about if time, money, fear, and failure was not an option, what would your life look like? What would your life look like 1 year from now? I just want you to look at like 1 year from now. What could it look like? What do you want it to look like? How would you feel when you're looking at like your body and your health? How do you feel? What clothes are you wearing? What size might you be wearing if you have a relation? What does your body structure look like? What will you be able to do physically that you can't do now? What will your day look like? So imagine you're peeking into a day in your life 1 year from now. What does that look like? How does your day start? What is your schedule as you move through the day? Who do you see in your day? How are you spending your time? What are you eating for breakfast? What are you having for lunch? Are you getting out and taking a walk? Are you enjoying a cozy extra time in bed with your spouse? Or is this a day where you have a work day and you're getting up and moving quickly through your day and your morning routine so that you can continue to accomplish your goals and your businesses and your job? What does that look like now? What are you doing? What have you accomplished in the last year? How are you preparing for the holidays next year? What does that look like for you and your family? Are you preparing to travel? Have you already been able to take some vacations with your family and enjoy running around with your kids or grandkids? What does your day look like? How are you spending it? What are your relationships like? Think about each of these things and not only like dig into how does it actually feel? How does it smell? What's surrounding you? How do you feel emotionally? How do you feel physically? What do you picture? Are you having meals with your family? Are you excited about something that's coming up next that you're preparing for to do as a family or on your own? Have you had ideas or goals of doing like a 5K or going hiking or just being able to run around and do some fun stuff with your kids or grandkids? What are you able to do now, today, in this moment, that 1 year from now that you can't do right now? How does it feel to have made all the steps along the way to accomplish where you are now? What do your relationships look like? Think through all of these things, and not just this, like, I want to do this or this, but, how are you feeling? Are you feeling free? Are you feeling able to move? Do you have energy? Are you able to walk with focus and joy in your day? What does it feel like? And I encourage you to spend as much time as you need working on this. Revisit it like every week. As I said earlier, your vision is something you get to cultivate. The more real this feels, the more you connect to this, where you actually start feeling some emotions coming up, the more pull you will have to keep pushing towards your goals, the more pull you will have to work hard to get to the vision that you have set before you. The more ability you'll have to push past any obstacles that pop up in your life, to remind yourself, and it's important to revisit this and to remind yourself of how it felt in that moment to feel and see and experience that moment. Because when we can feel what has popped up in our mind in a way that it feels that way, I have some visions that have been planted through some of these exercises I've done, and it brings tears to my eyes every time, because some of them are like, 5-year goals. Some of them may take longer than that, but when you can connect to it on that level, it is something that reminds you in the day-to-day hard moments that we can keep going. We can keep going, and that every little decision that we make every day, we're not going to be 100% perfect. Of course, we're not. We're not perfect people. We're going to make mistakes, but the biggest thing is to keep getting back up and moving forward, to be making progress, and keep revisiting that vision that we have set and developing it and pouring into it. It will make all the difference in the world. So spend as much time as you can, as you're willing to. Then make sure you take time to write it down. Write it down so you don't forget. Record on your phone. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself what you saw. Tell yourself what you saw if it's easier to record it. Do a video and record and say what you saw. Allow yourself to connect to it in a way you never have before. And I promise it will help propel you forward. It will help propel you forward. So I encourage you to take time this week to go through this process. Put a reminder on your calendar to revisit it once a week. I really encourage you, revisit it once a week on your rest day would be a great thing to do. Continue to expand this into the different areas of your life. Look at where you want to be 6 months, 1 year, 5 years from now. What does that look like? And then you're going to want to sit down and take some time to set those shorter term goals of, okay, what are the steps I need to do to get to that point? Because it's not going to magically happen. We do get to take some action, but that vision is what's going to propel us forward to take that action. And I'm going to share a fun bonus way of doing this, that when I did it, it actually came up and connected very clearly, very well to a vision that had been put before me when I did this in a different setting a few months ago, like earlier this week. Okay, this oil, don't put it on your face because it's making me so red today. Okay, I get to detox today, so there you go. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you real quick to wrap this up, thank you for sticking in here. I hope this exercise will be helpful to you, but what I'm going to tell you is that when your vision is small, you'll quit at the sign of hard. The first time things feel hard, first time things feel inconvenient, we'll stop. We'll stop and we won't keep moving forward. When it isn't easy, when it doesn't fit our schedule, we can find ourselves walking and doing things half-heartedly. We might be kind of like half in, half out. But as you develop your vision of where you want to go, and you start to see it and to feel it, and to taste it, and you start to imagine where you'll be 1 year from now if you stay committed to these goals that you're setting, those things that are start popping up in your mind so that you can achieve that vision that you just saw for yourself. When you start to think about those things and you continue to water that vision, as your vision will grow into something magical. Something magical happens in this process. The vision becomes more powerful than any of your excuses. It becomes more powerful than any of the obstacles that come up before you. That vision becomes more powerful than any of the things that will try to hold you back from moving forward, than anybody else's opinion. And all the visions start out like this. They start out small. They start out small, and yours is going to be different than mine. It's going to look very different than mine, and that's okay. Each of us, we have a personal vision. We have personal plans laid out before us. And I will tell you, it'll stay like this unless you put some energy and effort into it, and then it can grow. it can grow. It can grow. And I often tell people when we're working on vision and just dreaming, also another thing to do is sit down with paper and just write down anything and everything that you want to do, see, be, accomplish, like in your life. Dream huge, dream big. Remove that if, failure is not an option. Like, let everything go and see what comes up. But then I love honing in, like I just walked you through here, and then taking the time to really dig into like an area or, a time period and see what that's going to look like for you. It's awesome. And one thing I learned that applies to our vision also is that, success, it takes an investment of time and money, and you have to invest those things into your vision also if you want them to grow. So these tips that we are sharing with you through the 10 days, our little stories, our little tips, our little advice to help you think through things, develop habits, these are all a part of growing your vision, of growing and helping you see what you're capable of. So you may not, I want to tell you, and I know some of you already know this, you're not going to spend a lot of time with me and not start growing your vision, because I will tell you it's an important thing, and I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe that changes can happen for you and in you if you will allow yourself to go there, and you will give yourself the time to do that. And for right now, I will let you borrow some of my belief as you develop your vision and as you make progress towards where you want to go. Whether it's just plugging in for these 10 days or returning and joining us next month or plugging into some of the additional things that we will have coming up. Take the time, go through this vision exercise, revisit it as often as you can, and keep growing. Keep growing that vision. Keep growing here with us. Keep working towards your goals. So part of success is you believing, and part is knowing where you're going. So you need both of those things in this sense. So I love hearing from all of you. Let me know how you're doing. What do you have planned for today? Be sure to comment on the food posts and the nightly check-in posts. There's prizes. More prizes are going to be coming up. Make sure, if you didn't already, go quick and comment on the movement post for because a drawing is going to be today. Okay, y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for hanging in here with me. We'll talk to you soon.